right. I'm going to nail it this time, just like Chris Harrison, super smooth. Tonight, on what we hope is the last episode of the Clare and Dale show, will Clare propose? Will Dale say yes? Will Clare cancel all of her dates with everyone else? And how... Oh, that's Chris Harrison. What's up, C-Money? Yeah, man. Yeah, I just watched it. Yeah. This time, yes, I will admit, yes, the show was a little bit uncomfortable, but I think he totally smoothed it over. Yes. Yeah, great job. No, yeah, I think America will fall in love with Clare and Dale. Super couple. Yeah, yep. Chris, no, I don't think that Ken DeLong has a crush on you. Yes, you told me that she calls you grocery store Chris, but I think that's because you ran into her at the grocery store. Yes, Imani, you told me that she was buying corn dogs. Yes, I know. Look, I got to get back to the recap. All right, are we still on for Sunday brunch with Waboom? All right, later, C-Money. Chris. You know what? After watching that, I just can't even try and be super smooth. Let's talk more about this episode of The Bachelorette that will go down in Bachelorette history. All right. Well, remember where we were last week at the pre-rose ceremony cocktail party. Here, Yosef is now contemplating whether or not to confront Clare about some of her behavior, which has been slightly unusual. So he does decide to confront her, and he tells her very carefully that it might have been inappropriate when she called out the guys on the group date after party and accused them of not being there for her and making them feel bad about it. He then brings up the strip dodgeball game and how this may have been inappropriate, and then he's actually kind of ashamed to be associated with the show. And he does this fairly rationally, but then Clare asks him, well, why was it wrong to question whether the guys were there? At this point, he explodes, she explodes, and of course, as we've all seen in the previews, he tells her that he expected more from the oldest Bachelorette in history. And really, didn't we all? Then, of course, Dale swoops in to make everything okay, and he does make everything okay. And then Chris Harrison comes in to talk to Clare about how well things are going with Dale. And so the cocktail party is abruptly canceled and the rose ceremony begins, at which point Clare gets rid of Garen, Blake, and Taylor. So some of the men are invited on an exciting group date. After all the awkwardness, Jason attempts to cheer everyone up by letting them know that Claire's really there for them and there's so many great men in the house, so everything's going to be okay. Where is Clare during all this? Well, she's with the former Bachelorette and letting her know that she's saved Dale's pants. Yes, she's holding and smelling Dale's pants. Meanwhile, the men who were invited on the group date wait for Clare. They wait for 4 hours. Clare abruptly shows up to let them know that the daytime portion of their date has been canceled because it's no longer daytime. So it will be replaced with a nighttime cocktail date. Dale announces that he'd like to spend at least 5 minutes with Clare, but he will be respectful of everyone's time. They then disappear for 45 minutes, where they make out on a bed. They're discovered there by Easy, who goes and knocks on the door of Clare's villa. Clare and Dale awkwardly laugh and giggle as though nothing is going on, but this wasn't enough for Dale. He comes back and interrupts someone else later. They make out and are discovered again later. Later on, back at the villa, Dale announces that he was best suited to comfort Clare, and Jason rightly confronts him on this. Now, it's time for a one-on-one date. Zach's invited on a one-on-one date, and it's going to be a spa date at La Quinta Resort. So Zach and Clare go to get a pedicure. Zach's never had a pedicure before. He doesn't seem to particularly like it. And Clare puts a face mask onto Zach, which he doesn't seem to like. And then they go play in the pool for a little bit. Claire's dog comes out, and Claire announces that she's going to take her dog inside and get ready for dinner with Zach. When she does this, she reaches out to kiss Zach. He leans in for the kiss as well, but something somewhat awkward happens, and they don't actually end up kissing. She then awkwardly gets out of the pool. He says, "Hey, what's going on? I was going to kiss you." She says, "Hey, it's fine, don't worry." He then awkwardly gets out of the pool and kind of pulls on her neck a couple times, attempting to kiss her again. She goes inside and sits down with her dog and decides that she has been triggered by this experience. Zach is then seen waiting for Claire to arrive, and she doesn't arrive. Instead, Chris Harrison arrives to tell Zach that Claire didn't like the interaction, and so it's time for Zach to go home. At which time we see the bag disappear, and we see Bennett's reaction, and Bennett remarks, "It's sobering to see Zach's bags taken this evening." And finally, we have another group date. This time it's a roast date with comedian Margaret Cho. Ben delivers a wonderful roast. I would give him an A+. Claire does notice, and I would agree that he is able to make fun of people without truly hurting them, and really Ben does a wonderful job. Bennett then gets kind of a B- as he does really nail Dale in his roast, but is perhaps a little bit too harsh. And then we enter sort of a school-age crush portion of the date. Of course, we have the after party for the roast date, and Claire uses this time to put on her detective hat and ask everyone why they were making fun of Dale during the roast. So she's saying, "Oh, so tell me again. Why did you say that he's a front runner? Oh, what did he say about me? He says he's well suited for me. Tell me about that. Tell me about that some more." And she asks literally everyone a bunch of questions about Dale. When this detective work is over, she then goes back where everybody is waiting for her. She has a group date rose to give out. She then announces that she didn't get what she wanted in the conversations with everybody, and that she won't be giving out a group date rose. She then is seen with the producer and makes a comment that she didn't feel that she could say, "Hey, why did you dish my fiance?" which is an unusual thing to say. And then finally we see Claire alone in her villa with her little rose, and she decides to award it to herself. So that's the end of this brutally honest recap. Hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for my deep thoughts recap, and thanks for watching. I'll be your Mr. Right Girl.